This film is about helping babies and young children develop healthy eating habits right from the start. We will look at how we eat and what we eat. It's not just what we eat, it's also our family routines, such as sitting down together at mealtimes, that help babies and young children develop healthy eating habits early in life. When we're sitting down and eating off a plate, we're more likely to notice how much we're eating and stop when we're full. Have you noticed how easy it is not to realise how much you're eating or even what you're eating when you eat in front of the television? Enjoying mealtimes together helps babies and young children develop healthy eating habits and get used to eating a wide variety of flavours. Children copy their parents, so if we want our children to enjoy vegetables, we need to show them that we enjoy eating them too.
I ate quite broadly when I was pregnant and when I was breastfeeding, so those flavours have come through by adding in a bit of, coriander powder or a bit of turmeric. So we've kind of just gradually built it up from there.
The 3 S's, sitting, slowly, sociably, are useful reminders of the things we can do to make mealtimes a shared pleasure and help children learn from us to enjoy a wide variety of tastes and textures. When we sit down together as a family, chat and take our time over meals, we're helping our children develop healthy eating habits for the rest of their lives.
I've got 6 children. I've got 4 boys and 2 girls. We always eat together on the table.
I feel it's good. If anybody had any problem, we can talk together. We will know each other.
Sometimes if they don't want to eat the dinner, there's something wrong.
What did you do in school today, Wasim?
Good things.
Good things. What did you do?
Forgot.
You forgot? Because you're busy eating now.
Although family mealtimes are really important, they can also be stressful. Responding to our children whilst still being in charge is an important balancing act. Responding means paying attention to their needs. It doesn't mean giving in to all their demands.
That's mine, you drop it. Mama, you drop my
It's okay, Fatia.
Introducing a family reward system can help parents to hold limits around mealtime behaviour in a way that creates a positive family atmosphere. In a family reward system, everyone gives rewards to each other. Not only adults to children, but also adults to adults, children to adults, and children to children. Rewards are used to create something together, such as a picture, a puzzle, even a brick tower, or any other ideas you might come up with as a family.
We should reward our children or praise them if they do something good.
It's not about pushing them to do something, it's encouraging them as much as they can, really. So it's like a game and still motivate them to behave.
That's for Fatia for sitting down and eating sensibly. Well done.
No family with young children has beautifully calm and happy mealtimes on a daily basis. It's not about being the perfect family. It's about taking small, practical steps towards making the atmosphere at mealtimes as relaxed and enjoyable as possible.
Try and create as relaxed an environment as possible, even when they're screaming the roof down or they refuse to eat. Just trying to make it as easy for them as we possibly can.
Is it? Should we reload it a bit? There you go. Here. Good listen. Well done, Hon.
Yeah.
No, one minute, be careful.
Sit down.
Okay.
Okay, don't fight. That's it. Be careful. That's it.
Put your plate down, darling. No, Alma. Put it here. Well done. Good listening, baby.
He's our little chef today. Yeah.
I teach everybody to cook.
The atmosphere we create is not just about helping us all to enjoy mealtimes. It also affects how willing babies and young children are to try new tastes and to know when they have had enough.
And Mommy.
Is it nice?
Chicken.
Well done. Well done, Mama.
Babies know exactly when they're hungry and when they are full. And they're very good at letting us know too. To help us understand what they are telling us, we need to sit opposite them where we can see their facial expressions and their gestures. Let's look at how babies tell us they're hungry. And how they let us know when they've had enough.
No, okay.
All done? All done. Daddy, take it away.
It's mummy then.
Following your baby's lead helps him or her stay in touch with their sense of fullness. As parents, we may worry about our children getting enough to eat, and we may find ourselves encouraging them to eat up and finish what's on their plate, even when they're telling us they've had enough. This can turn mealtimes into battlegrounds, and in the long term can mean that children stop recognising when they are full and eat more than their bodies need as they grow older. Noticing signs of hunger and fullness and letting babies and young children decide when they have had enough means they are less likely to overeat in later life. When babies are ready to start eating solid food, a whole new stage of learning begins, both for them and for their parents.
I found the period when we weaned them very difficult. It was when feeding was at its most stressful and I felt least confident in what I was doing. And as a result, I think everyone was a bit more anxious. And you just worry, I think, because it's the first time you do it, are you doing it right? Are they getting enough in? Should it be going like this? And in hindsight, I think it was completely normal. It's kind of come a long way because we now all eat happily around the table together, whereas in the early days of them eating solid food, it was a lot more fractious.
Is that nice?
It's tasty.
In the early days, it's all about experimenting with new tastes, textures, and skills. Babies need to learn to eat, not just to be fed, so the more we can encourage them to pick up finger food and feed themselves, as well as offering them tastes of new food on a spoon, the quicker they'll learn, and the more they're likely to enjoy the experience of eating.
Is that nice?
I think initially we were holding food for her, just not really understanding how much she could do for herself. And each day she was getting better hand-eye coordination, a better grip on the food. So we were learning a lot from her.
Definitely.
And how quickly she could pick things up.
Let's think back to the points we've covered about healthy eating habits. The 3 S's for healthy family mealtimes: sitting, slowly, sociably. Creating relaxed mealtimes helps us all to enjoy our food, but limits are important too. You provide, they decide. Be guided by signs of hunger and fullness. Hands-on babies. Let them feed themselves so they enjoy the experience of eating, as well as learn how to do it. In part 2, we're going to look at what kinds of foods, and how much of them, it's good for our children and us to eat. Let's see what a healthy diet looks like for babies, young children, and for the whole family. Food is a family affair, and young children will gradually join the rest of the family in what they eat. So it's important to think about balanced and healthy meals for everyone. In a healthy diet for adults and children over 5, the majority of what we eat comes from fruits and vegetables, and also from carbohydrates such as bread, pasta, chapatis, rice and potatoes. The rest is made up of foods high in protein, such as beans, pulses, fish, eggs and meat, dairy foods, milk, cheese, yogurt or alternatives such as tofu and soya milk, and a small amount of unsaturated oils and spreads. We should only have things like chocolate, cakes and sweetened drinks in small amounts, and not every day. babies tend to have a natural preference for sweet and familiar foods. Probably a leftover survival mechanism from the time we had to forage for food when it was important not to eat unfamiliar plants, and poisonous plants were usually bitter. So an important task when introducing babies to solid food is to take them on a taste journey. Babies like what they know, and so the best way to help them develop a liking for vegetables is to give them a wide variety, little and often.
I think persistence was quite a big thing early on with a lot of the sort of fruit and the vegetable mainly that we would give her initially. You might get a bit of a funny face or something at the start, but she would soon sort of get into it in time.
I cooked some cod with, I think it was courgette, pepper, tomatoes, and initially we got a lot of faces, didn't we? But I think we're on attempt number 4 or 5 last night, and it finally went down, and she actually seemed to be asking for more and enjoying it. So I think it is just persistence.
How much babies and young children should be eating can be a worry for parents. When a baby first starts to eat solid foods, most of their nutrition still comes from milk. By the age of about 1, they'll be eating a more varied diet, and the following number of daily portions gives them the balance they need. 5 a day of fruit and vegetables. 4 portions a day of carbs, bread, pasta, rice and potatoes. 2 to 3 a day of foods high in protein. 3 a day of dairy, including milk, and children under 2 should have the full fat varieties. This is similar to the number of portions for adults, apart from carbohydrates. Because their stomachs are so small, about the size of their own clenched fist, young children need fewer carbs than we do. They also need less fibre. So a mix of refined, white and whole grain brown carbs, such as bread and rice, is best. So how big is a portion? One simple way of estimating portion size is to use our hands, because they grow with us. So we can use our hands to estimate portion size, whatever our age. A clenched fist is used to estimate 1 portion of carbs, such as bread, pasta, rice, chapatis and potatoes. The palm of our hands is roughly equivalent to 1 portion of protein, such as meat, fish, eggs and pulses. The top 2 joints of our index and middle fingers can be used to estimate 1 portion of dairy foods, such as cheese. And a cupped hand gives us a portion of fruit and vegetables. This doesn't mean that we can only have 1 portion at each meal. We can balance the numbers of portions over a day or 2. So, if we have 2 fist-sized portions of rice at 1 meal, then this counts as 2 of an adult's 5 portions or 2 of a child's 4 portions. We all want our children to grow up to be healthy, but it can be challenging to make sure they are eating a varied and healthy diet as they grow older and develop strong likes and dislikes. Forcing children to eat what they don't like may lead to a lifelong dislike, but at the same time, giving children free rein and letting them eat what they want isn't good for them either. Offering children a choice between healthy foods is a way of holding boundaries without food turning into a battle of wills. For instance, offering some sugar snap peas and some carrot sticks for a snack and letting the child choose which they prefer. Involving children in planning and preparing meals is also a great way of encouraging them to eat healthily. Just like the rest of us, children are much more likely to enjoy something when they've had a say about it.
And carrots, yeah.
This family have decided together that they're going to cook chicken and are now planning what to have with it to balance the different food groups.
And we're going to have some garlic and some ginger.
Oh, you got ginger. Gingerbread man.
Oh.
What you got burnt yourself?
No.
What you made, yes. Well done.
Let's finish by recapping the important elements of healthy eating. Food is a family affair. Balanced meals for the whole family. Starting solids is an important opportunity to take babies on a taste journey, so they learn to enjoy different foods. Offer a wide variety, little and often. Balance the different food groups from the age of 1. Use hands as a guide for portion sizes. They grow with us. Involve children in planning and preparing meals. And lastly, offer children a choice between healthy alternatives to avoid food becoming a battle of wills.